What's good, guys? So if you thought that that vegan teacher hadn't already completely lost her mind, well, you'd be completely wrong. And if you thought that she couldn't somehow get worse, you'd also be wrong. And I'm here to explain exactly how and why. Let me just preface this. I thought that there was no way that she could possibly surprise me again. I mean, come on, let's just consider what's happened already. There was the thing with the baby.
If this had been somebody's pee covered in sauce, the child would have had the same reaction.
There was her literally saying that Hitler was better than most people because he was quote unquote vegan.
You should always see the good side of people. For example, Hitler. Besides the fact that he murdered millions of innocent people, I'm sure he was deep down a good guy.
There was the Call Me Chris incident where she compared literal assault of a human being to artificial insemination of a cow.
My question is this. If you don't like the fact that you were pinned down and assaulted, why do you pay people to do this to other females?
And the list goes on and on. So at this point, I thought she had really pulled out all the stops, there was nothing else to be surprised about. There can't be. Boy, howdy was I wrong, because somehow she has managed to shock me once again. So it's no surprise, it's no secret that Miss Katie is notorious for going after well-known creators, actors even. There's Gordon Ramsay, Sniper Wolf, even Taylor Swift. Like, nobody is safe from that vegan teacher's wrath. They're all aware of that. She's even come after me a few times. But one other thing that she is notorious for is putting herself in front of the camera and being the one to directly call out these people and try to slap heinous labels on them, like that they're murderers, that they're awful people, etc. You know the whole vegan shindig, okay? But this time, she decided to put a little bit of a twist on it, to do it in a very different way than what we're used to seeing. She decided to pose as no joke, no cap, no scam. Some of you may have heard of this guy, right? Jesus Christ himself. He's very famous, known throughout the world in several different religious texts. One of them notably the Bible, that some of you may have heard of. In addition to that, you got the Book of Mormon and many other scriptures. So most people should be quite familiar with who he is. And she used this persona, this cosplay, to send a message directly to a well-known comedian by the name of Russel Brand. And apparently Russel Brand was married to Katy Perry for like 2 years and decided to basically divorce her over text. Yeah, what a very charming, distinguished fellow he is. But let's see what that vegan teacher cosplaying as Black Jesus had to say to him.
Dear Russell, I'm Jesus, and I'm writing to you with love and truth. I see what you're going through, the pressure to conform, to compromise your values, and to step away from the things you once knew to be right. I know your heart, Russell, the heart I created, a heart meant to love, to protect, and to bring justice, not harm. When you were younger, you saw the suffering of animals, and you made a choice to follow compassion. That choice wasn't random. It was a reflection of the mercy, justice, and care I placed in you from the beginning. Russell, I've called you to be a light in this world, a voice for those who can't speak for themselves. The animals, the ones who have no voice, are suffering in ways many don't even realize. Their pain, their cries, they break my heart. The truth is, the industries you support now are built on their suffering.
Okay, well, first and foremost, guys, I can't stop laughing about the Black Jesus thing. Like, I want to know. I want to know why she decided to go with Black Jesus. Like, what was the motivation behind that? Because there had to be, right? That's not typically the most common depiction of Jesus Christ, okay?
I rode into town on an ass. Yo mama's ass.
I just want to know, what went through her brain to be like, I'm gonna do this through the lens of Black Jesus. I don't know. Is she trying to piss some people off? I don't know. But the reason why I say that is because Miss Katie has made it very, very, very clear that she's at least a very, a little bit racist. When I say little, I mean a lot of it. I've showcased this in several videos. I've showcased this in the Downfall video, but there's been many instances of her dropping N-bombs like bodies in the hood.
Does this girl seem to you like she might be naturally intelligent, gorgeous, generous, exemplary, and radiant? She looks like she could be that to me.
And what I would do with it is I would
use it as an acronym. So N-I-G-G-E-R.
So it just makes a guy wonder. That's all I'm saying. I had no problems with her depicting Black Jesus. I think it's wonderful. Now on to the topic of poor Russell here. Well, maybe I shouldn't say poor Russell. Me reading up on his Wikipedia because I had almost no idea who he was before this. Maybe not the greatest person on planet Earth, but also not the worst. But he apparently used to be vegan. So he was vegan at 14 years old up until I think very recently or something. And now he's a big kind of carnivore eating sort of guy. And she hates it when people turn to the wild side, to the dark side. They give up their plant-based lifestyle and they start eating steaks and chicken wings and chicken nuggies. She hates when people do that. She's made several videos complaining about other people that were previously vegan dropping veganism, and a lot of the times when these people do drop veganism and they come out and they make a statement about it, it's usually like, oh yeah, my health kind of sucked. Like it wasn't good for me and I needed to do something about it. And of course she doesn't care about that. She's like, oh, fuck your health situation. Forget you caring about your own well-being. Fuck that. You need to protect the animals. And by the animals, she just means the ones that people use for food, because she doesn't care about the ones that turn into fertilizer or the ones that are sacrificed for, almond production or soy production, that sort of stuff. They don't matter. They're not important. Just the ones that wind up directly on your dinner plate that she supposedly cares about. Now, using the angle of trying to pretend to be Jesus is very peculiar, especially after she's made several videos talking about how vegans are better than God, she's better than God, she should be God, that sort of thing.
Reason number 2, why vegans are better than God. God is actually trying to kill all vegans.
But you know what? Let's let Miss Katie / Black Jesus cook for a moment. Okay, just real quick, y'all. I just wanted to make sure you knew that this was in fact a vegan teacher video, and I'm not making this shit up. This really is her video.
Pigs, gentle creatures, are subjected to horrors you can't even imagine. Cows torn from their babies over and over again. Baby chicks discarded and left to die simply because they're not useful enough for profit. This cruelty, Russell, comes at a cost, one that grieves me deeply. You know my teachings. I said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Doesn't that apply to all living beings? When I said, you shall not murder, I meant it for all. Every creature, every life is worthy of kindness and respect. And yet, I've seen you drift away from that path. The path you once walked, one of mercy and justice, is now clouded by the industries of death. You with a heart that rejected cruelty have returned to the system that profits from suffering.
Yo guys, I just had an epiphany. Now, I know a lot of you watching this probably have never seen my videos before, or maybe you've seen a few and not all of them, so maybe you haven't seen this one I'm about to mention. But I made a video a while ago about when Vegan Teacher actually talked about me personally. She's done it a couple times, but there was one where she used another person's video, this vegan Superman, turbo virgin loser, whatever guy.
First of all, the circle of life is not a scientific concept. It's a Disney song about a cartoon monkey singing about a baby lion. Also, it's a logical fallacy. Again, appeal to...
And this guy was criticizing my content, criticizing my videos about Miss Katie, and it sounded like the guy was AI. There's even a part in the video where Katie's all like, why won't you show your face? Everybody's gonna think you're AI. I think she did that to cover her bases because she knew people would make that connection right away. And like, I had made another follow-up video talking about how I'm pretty confident that this character is somebody that she made herself, and I provided evidence for that. If you guys want to watch that video, it's up there. If you want to watch either of them, they're both going to be available somewhere in these tags if you want to go look at those. But since this video isn't about that, we're not going to talk about it too much more. But just because of the fact that she goes and creates these AI characters, it just kind of solidifies my belief that she probably created that character to attack me directly without people knowing that it was her, which is really sad and pathetic. Now again, back to the Russell thing here. I recall, based off of what some people have said and what I kind of remember about the Bible, is that it states pretty clearly that animals are kind of meant to be food, and Jesus Christ himself ate fish. That's 100% confirmed. Some people have suggested that he also ate lamb, but I don't know if that's a fact or not. I haven't seen my own evidence of that, but I'm inclined to believe it. And so therefore, Jesus himself wasn't necessarily in favor of veganism. And I don't think Jesus nowadays would be like, hey, don't do what the Bible says, which clearly makes it very, very obvious that it's okay to eat meat and fish and stuff like that. And be like, no, forget that shit. Actually, no, you need to protect the animals and you should all be vegan. Yeah. I don't think Jesus said that, unless this is some kind of black vegan Jesus who's, I don't know, going to be a part of like the New Testament, maybe the new vegan testament that must be coming out sometime scheduled in 2025. Hopefully no delays. That's the only thing that kind of makes a little bit of sense in my head, but otherwise this seems like another episode of vegan bullshit propaganda.
This is not the life I intended for you, but it's not too late. I'm calling you back to what you once knew, Russell, to the path of mercy, to a life that reflects compassion for all. You have a powerful voice, a platform that reaches millions. Imagine what you could do if you used it to bring kindness, to fight for the voiceless, to protect the earth. You could lead a movement of mercy, and your message could change the hearts of millions. You were born to inspire, Russell, to lead. Come back to the path of love, to the life that rejects cruelty. Let that path be the one you walk with me. Let your life be a testament to mercy, compassion, and justice for all living beings. I ask you to reflect on the choices you've made. Stand with the innocent. Stand against those who profit from suffering. You have the power to change the world, to restore your soul to its true purpose. So I'm asking you, Russell, choose mercy again. Stand for love, stand for compassion, stand for justice. Choose veganism, not just for yourself, but for the animals, for the planet, and for me. With love, truth, and faith in your potential, Jesus.
Yeah, so Black Jesus here just straight up saying choose veganism is crazy that she wrote that in there. That is just fantastic. I mean, I don't know how stupid she thinks we are, but sister, this ain't gonna work. You just look even more Delulu than you did last week, which I didn't think that was possible yet. Here we are. And I would love to say that I wasn't surprised by this, but God, I was. She just keeps shocking us left and right with new propaganda. Like, where does it end? Is there a ceiling to this thing? I don't know. That's why I'm sitting here right now, because she just keeps coming up with more shit. And I think what's really crazy about this whole thing is she's made it very clear how she feels about religious people and religious texts.
Many religious people that I know are messed up in the head, their heart is all fucked up too, and so when I hear that somebody's religious, I get very nervous.
Let me just say, it's a pretty odd angle to try to pull out the religion strings of people, because you made your stance pretty gosh darn clear. So now it's very clear that you're just trying to use this to manipulate people. I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough. And let me just tell you, you're not gonna get very far with this. But hey, can't fault a girl for trying, right? Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this shit show, and if you did, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time.